Biomutant, a game that was announced a very long time ago, and I had my eye on it ever since, and seems to be, a mix of Breath of the Wild, Monster Hunter, Devil May Cry, Borderlands, a lot of different games, and it was done for a small budget, and not too many people worked on it, but it was published by THQ, which is a big AAA company. So what do I think? Well, that's what we're here for. Hi guys, DPX here, reviewing today Biomutant. Played on PS4, by the way. Before we get started, you know what to do. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to, hit the bell, and you'll be a loyal subscriber.
That's an Aurora totem. Legend has it that
Biomutant, when it comes to the gameplay, is somewhat of a combination of many different games. As I mentioned earlier, you probably heard comparisons to Breath of the Wild, Monster Hunter, Devil May Cry, Fallout, Max Payne, and Borderlands, amongst others, and I can say that it does in fact take inspiration from a bit of each. There are also 5 different classes you can choose from, being Deadeye, Commando, PSI Freak, Sabotteur, and Sentinel, each of them adding a different gameplay element, although mostly similar. I also want to say that the combat is pretty solid. Fighting enemies mostly just feels good, but at times it can be a bit annoying. There was this one boss fight that took me a while to beat because the game wanted me to fight the boss in one way, but there was a much easier way that the game wasn't telling me about. Sure, that shouldn't really be an issue, as that's more of like a shortcut that you discover in the game, but it actually wasn't a shortcut or anything, as the way you are thinking isn't the way to do it according to the game, as it's telling you to do it a different way, which is definitely more difficult. Are you following? Did I lose you? Alright. 2 other things also happened that really bothered me. One was at one point in the game where I had to ride a horse or whatever. They're not called horses, but I'm gonna call it a horse, to a certain part of the game, but I managed to lose the horse along the way. Don't ask. But that point where I was going to, I needed the horse in order to progress. Like, there was a certain quick time event or something that I needed the horse for, or else the game couldn't progress. So that meant I had to go all the way back to where I got the horse to begin with, and go all the way back up to the objective where I needed the horse. That sucked. That, and there are certain sections of the game where it's hot or cold or has toxic gas or whatever, and if you're there for too long, you die. It's actually pretty cool and interesting. Makes you think of different ways to get around places. So obviously, I died there, but for some reason, I'll respawn exactly where you died from, freezing to death. So I immediately just freeze to death again. It's like, what? Why? Why does the game do that? Stuff like that got annoying, but the gameplay is mostly fun and quite solid, so don't take that away from it.
the rival Sifu is defeated, and the destiny of their tribe is in your hands.
You may not have known this, but Biomutant is actually a very story-driven game. The game is set in a post-apocalyptic world where humans are extinct and rats now know martial arts. It's definitely an interesting concept, as while a post-apocalypse isn't anything new, rats learning martial arts is. There are also many dialogue options in this game, and I like it when games do that, whether it's Mass Effect or KOTOR, and this game does it too, where a character says a line and you have an option of 2 or 3 responses, and they can each change the game's story, whether it's how likable of a person or character your character is, or the ending. There are even these light and dark spirit little things that pop up during dialogue moments, and you can choose which one you agree with, which will increase either how much light you have or dark you have. I think that is a very nice touch, And it also affects the ending. In fact, there are so many endings in this game, and so many different outcomes in this game, that completionists will have a fun time. I will say this though, after a certain point in the game, you feel like you've seen all that this game has to offer. The main objectives and even many of the side quests get repetitive as fuck, as it sort of just becomes rinse and repeat. And I honestly felt like I was able to just stop playing right there and put up my review, because I just didn't think I would see anything else, and I really didn't. But I did play through the whole thing. Also, the characters and many places just have stupid names. I don't even want to list them because they're pretty dumb. The story is definitely a very strong point though. Now here is the other stuff. Stuff that I think are worth mentioning, but shouldn't each really get their own segments. Anyways, I'll start by saying that I love the art direction and the atmosphere. This is a very nice open world. However, visually, and I mean on a technical standpoint, not so much. Keep in mind that I played this on the PS4, probably not the best way to play it, but the game crashed on me 4 times and lags regularly. Like, I mean, enough to where I got used to it lagging so much and I didn't notice it. That sounds good, but I mean, it shouldn't be lagging that much. There was also this one bug that happened once. But the fact that this happened at all blows my fucking mind. I kid you not, I was in a boss fight, paused it, then died. Like, without unpausing it. Like, if pausing the game didn't actually pause the game. Like, what? This wasn't a regularly occurring issue, but the fact that this actually happened is just astounding. Also, traveling from point A to point B can get very tedious and honestly frustrating at times, because you'll just have no idea how to get from point A to point B. The game doesn't tell you much, and I was spending hours trying to figure out how to get to an objective. One singular objective, by the way. I had to look up a walkthrough, which I don't usually do, but I had to look up a walkthrough, and even then it still took me a while to find. Maybe that's a me problem though. Also, the music is nothing really to write home about. I really seem negative here, but I didn't hate playing this game. This game is fun, but got old after a bit. That's its main issue. There are certainly things to like, though, as I also like the voice acting, as whilst the characters that can talk are limited to like 3 of them, the main narrator was pretty fun to hear. There's a lot to like in Biomutant, I'll say that. In conclusion, I'd be lying to you if I said Biomutant lived up to my expectations. Sure, this is supposed to be a rather indie game, you know, not too many people worked on it, but it was published by THQ Nordic, and they're a big AAA studio. Might not seem like it, but they are. And also, this game sold for $60. I would not recommend this game for $60. Definitely not. So, I feel a little let down by Biomutant. At a certain point, it kinda just overstayed its welcome, despite it being pretty short. But at one point, you feel like you've seen everything the game has to offer. And that sucks, because there's a lot of good stuff in here, and I feel like there is a really good game somewhere here. The game I was expecting here, I feel like somewhere deep down, that does exist. But with all the bugs and long loading times, which I didn't even mention, but the loading times are like ridiculous. And the game sort of just becoming rinse and repeat. I don't know. I can tell that they wanted to make a good game here, and it's not bad. I don't want to call it bad, but it falls short. Anyways, that being said, I give Biomutant a 6.5 out of 10. See, as you can tell, I'm a little disappointed by this game, but it's alright. This game was fun. Definitely not a bad game. I don't recommend it at $60, though. I don't. Maybe if it's on sale for, say, 40, maybe 30, I'd recommend it, but not at 60. Anyways, what do you guys think about my review? Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Or what do you think about Biomutant? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you have it? Do you not have it? And if you don't have it, do you want it? Do you not want it? Anything about the game, let me know down below. Anyways, be sure to like this video, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.